local radio stations in our region will be spending Sunday lunchtime celebrating the people's history of pop. That's your stories and memories on everything from the day the Rolling Stones played in Wisbech to Pink Floyd at the Stowmarket Carnival.
And this is one of the very best from BBC Essex. It's all about Paul Simon and his first ever appearance in this country in a pub in Brentwood. So cast your mind back to the summer of 1964 and the start of something very special. Here's Sean Peel.
So this is where Paul Simon landed in 1964, suitcase and guitar in hand, and he lived down there, Crescent Road, with a chap called Dave McCausland, who ran the folk club in Brentwood. Dave McCausland saw Paul Simon playing on the streets of Paris, and he asked him to come over to Brentwood. He said, "I'll put you up and you can play in my folk club," and that's what happened.
And we've got Paul up here, so could we have a big hand for Paul, please?
Well, the Railway Inn, where Paul Simon made his debut in 1964, is no more. It's an office block these days, but the memories remain. And I've been speaking to a chap who ran the folk club back in the day.
Hi there. Great to be here at the Fabulous London Police.
People would crowd into the pub and people would have to sit on the floor. There weren't enough chairs. People would stand at the back and it'd be pretty crowded, hot. He was a very polished performer. I mean, his music always swang along.
Ain't no use to... Ooh! Sang a Bob Dylan song.
The Railway Inn may not be next to the railway anymore, but precious tapes from those early shows in that smoky room are held in the Essex Records office in Chelmsford. They were recorded by the late Dennis Ruckard for his hospital radio show.
And the signs say the words of the prophets.
We consider it one of the gems of our collection, and one of the great things about it is that it's capturing Paul Simon in Essex, where perhaps you might not expect him to be in Brentwood, but before he became famous.
He became a regular at the Railway Inn. At one point someone shouts out, "Can you play the Neon Lights song, Paul?" The song we now know as The Sound of Silence.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Being based in Brentwood inspired Paul Simon. He met his Essex sweetheart Kathy there, who was on the door of the folk club that very first night. She was immortalised in many of his songs, America of course, and Kathy's song. And she was the love lying waiting silently for him in Homeward Bound. Simon wrote it while touring the north of England at that time, begging the question, could the home in Homeward Bound be Essex?
Brentwood, we think, had a particular place in his heart because when he's talking about, to England where my heart lies, you think, well, actually, that's a place in Essex, and that's really nice for us to think of.
When The Sound of Silence started to make noises in the US, Paul Simon headed back to the States. The romance with Kathy was over. The Essex chapter closed as he walked off to look for America. Sean Peel, BBC Look East.